Welcome to this new section of our training where we're going to use conditional formatting to give more functionality to our stock card. So in the previous video, we already saw how to automate this stock card. We saw how to automatically sum the entries, the sales, and the exit from the order sheets. So in this video, we are going to see how to make in such a way that the formatting of this worksheet should be done automatically according to the figures appearing in the cells. So I'll start by arranging this worksheet so that it should look much more beautiful. I will remove the grid lines. I will remove all these grid lines. So I'll come to view and I unselect grid line. So when I unselect grid line, see how this background is somehow much more better. So this table with these blue and white lines, I'm going to remove these. So when I click anywhere in the table, I come to design and I'm going to take this none, like no line, no coloring and so on. So this is how it looks like. So it is much more better like this for me. So what I want to do is that I want to be checking if the available stock is less than the minimum stock, if it is greater than the minimum stock, or meaning I just want to create some alerts in terms of colors. So I want to make it in such a way that if the available stock is greater than the minimum stock by 10, for example, it should show a green color for that product. If the available stock is less than the minimum stock, it should show a red line for that product. So for that, I'm going to use what we call formatting, conditional formatting. So it is at the level of the home tab. You can see a conditional formatting. So what I do is that I start by selecting the area of application. Where do I want the conditional formatting to apply? So I select the whole table. Remember, I select from up here for the whole table to be selected till right down, because this table was really a long table we created up to cell 500. So we saw that in the previous video. So I'll come to conditional formatting and I'll take a new rule. Now for this new rule, there are a lot of rule type we can use. So I'm just going to use a formula to determine which cell to format. So I'm going to choose this last option, to use a formula to determine which cell to format. So what I want to do here is I want to make a check at the level of the available stock. So if the available stock is greater than the minimum stock, I would like it to have a green color. So I'm just going to go directly at the level where I can put the formula. So I'll click on available stock. So if available stock is greater than the minimum stock, let me say the minimum stock plus 20 units. So because here the minimum stock is 10, so I want it to be green if it is minimum stock plus 20 units. It means that for the cell to be green, it should be at least 30 units. Okay, so it all depends on what I want to do. So I'm going to say minimum stock plus 20 units. Okay, so should in case it is greater than the minimum stock plus 20 unit, I just come to formatting. So I'm going to come at the level of fill. I'm going to choose a green color. So this is how it's going to look like. And the font, I would like the font color to be white. So I click on OK. So this is how it's going to look. This is a preview of how the cells are going to look like. So I click on OK, and actually what he has done is not exactly what I wanted to do. What he has done, he has just colored everything. So I click anywhere in the table. I come back to conditional formatting. I take manage rules. Like I've already created a rule, so I want to manage it. This is a rule I just created. but I don't want the, it depends on the directions of the cells. So if I double click on it, I can modify what I wrote in here. So I you can see here the dollar sign in front of the column identity and in front of the the row identity, because this I5. So what I want this to do is that it should apply only to columns. So it should be looking up to column where there is the available stock and the column where there is the minimum stock. And for it to be done like that, I'm going to remove the dollar sign beside or behind 5, because 5 takes into consideration rows. I don't want it to apply in terms of rows. I want it to apply uniquely in terms of columns. So I'm going to remove the dollar sign which is beside the row. Same here. So when I take OK and I apply, what can you see? You can see that it is giving a green color to those lines, because I asked it to apply from C5 to N500. So this C5 to N500 is right down, right? So all this line is going to be green. Why? Because the available stock is greater than the minimum stock plus 30. So you see what has actually happened. So from here, I can create another rule. Which says that I choose the last option with formula. If the available stock is less than the minimum stock plus, like if it's less than the minimum stock, I insert a red color to appear. So I'm going to say come at the level of the format value, and I say if the available stock. So you see, I just click on available stock, but here I'm going to remove the dollar sign beside the 5. If the available stock is less than the minimum stock, here I'm going to remove the dollar sign beside the 5. The format that should appear should be red, so I come to fill and I choose red. For the borders or for the font color, I would like it to be white. I take OK, and I take OK and I say apply. So here you can see that it has not actually applied because I did not select the area of application. The area of application was just this cell G12. So what I'll do is that I'm going to select all this area to be the area of application. So when I apply this, you can see that all the cells which are actually less than the minimum stock is going to have a red color. We can see here that it's not actually applying well. You see it's exceeding, so it might be because of an error during the application. So we come and modify it. Okay, so here we can see that it actually took a lot of cells. So I'm going to delete this back and select the right cells. I will select this cell, the available stock, and I will select the minimum stock, and I will remove the dollar sign here. Okay, apply. Okay, so here we can see that it is actually functioning. Here it is doing this only for cells where the available stock is lower than the minimum stock, because here is negative 22. So it is actually doing this. It's good, but I would not like that cells where the available stock is 0, we should have a red color. So I just want it to be normal. So what I can do is that I'll add another condition. I'll start by I'll close this. I'll select the area of application. So all this area from So I'm going to select the whole table. So I come on conditional formatting, a new role. I'll take use a formula. So what I'm going to say is that should in case the available stock is equal to 0, because I don't want cells, I want to format cells which are equal to 0. So if it's equal to 0, I would like the formatting to be kind of this color, though it is less than the minimum stock, but I would like that it should just be normal. So I'm just going to give a font color to be uh completely black. Okay, so I take OK, and let me see, come to manage rows, and I realize that it has not functioned because this cell is taking into consideration both columns and rows. So I'll double click inside and I'm going to let it function only for columns. So I will delete the dollar sign beside the figure. I take OK, and when I apply it, you can see it's giving red color uniquely when the stock is actually less than the minimum stock, but when the stock is 0, you just allow it like this. So it all depends on your reasoning, it all depends on what you actually want to do. So you can see that down here there are formulas, there are a lot of things, there are formulas, there are functions, but still you can realize that if somebody does not actually know, he wants to know that there are a lot of functions and formulas here. If I come in my data list and I add a new line, I add a new product. Let me just put anything inside. So when I come here to the stock card, normally I am supposed to have that new product. So it's something that happened. Okay. So when I come to data, let me say I add another new line. So if I add any new product, automatically in my stock card, the new product is going to appear. Just that here we can see that it is C22, and when we go down it is C24. So I will get it from here and make in such a way that it should follow accordingly. 23, 24, 25. Okay, so at the level of data, if I remove these informations, like if I delete the informations here in my stock card, it is no more there, no additional line. If in my stock card I add any information here in the stock card, you will see the information has added, a new line has added. So that is practically what I want to be doing. I can equally make some formatting with borders, for example. If for example I want that all the cells that contains data should have a line drawn below. So what I can do is that if I select, for example, the whole table, I come on conditional formatting, I take a new rule, formula, and I say if, for example, C5, meaning from the very first line, if the item, for example, if the item is different from something, meaning if there is something in the item color, so to express different from, I'm going to use inverted commas, open and greater than, less than. If the item column, I'm going to delete the dollar sign beside the row representative. So if the item is different from nothing, so if it's different from nothing, it means if there's something inside. I want, for example, borders, a line below to show up, so something like that. If I take OK, you can see when there's actually data in this cell, it will draw automatically a line. What if there's no data? So you see, if I come here and I add a new product, I can come to the stock card, you see it has added the new thing I've written, it adds a line, it gives the new formatting and so on. So these conditional formatting are made to change automatically. The day where the available stock will no more be up to this 210, or when it will be less than, or when it will not be equal to the minimum stock plus 20, it's automatically going to change. So if, for example, yeah, the available stock is 210. If, for example, I said there was an exit, which product is this? It is Dell Computer. If I say, for example, that is an exit of um, Dell Computer, let me choose Dell Computer. Dell Computer, if there is an exit, for example, of 200 units, if there's an exit of 200 units, if I come to the stock card, you will see the available stock is no more up to 200. It is just 10 units and it is equal to the minimum stock. So the line is just going to be wide. That's how I want it to be. If I make an entry of their computer, if I make another entry here, for example, if I add a new line and I make another entry of their computer, uh, let's say 588 units. When I come to the stock card, you see the available stock has automatically changed, and the conditional formatting has made it in such a way that the line should be completely green. So this is how we can actually automate our stock card to be responsive. So anything here is just a report. You will just come and see the products that are in stock, and we see and make decisions based on the conditions we made. At any point in time, you can see the products with the red lines are going to be critical products that we actually have to place order for them. So this is the interesting thing we had to see in this video, and in the next video then we are just going to see how to automate this invoice to carry automatically information from here and send it in the sales track, then print an invoice for us automatically. So we are going to see how to convert this Excel invoice to a PDF that we can actually send to our customers or print out, which is really going to help. So see you in the next video.